Progressives, this is your trigger warning. Hi, folks. Welcome back. Well, it's been a hell of a week, huh? We have the so-called debate, Biden-Trump, where Biden finally showed the 42% that still support him just how bad he is mentally, how far gone he is. When you've been hearing from MSNBC and CNN especially, and the other media channels too, but especially MSNBC, how wonderful he is and how we've known him for 50 years. You're going to see later in this video, Joe Scarborough saying that if you don't like the truth, then F yourself, F you, and things like that. But these guys all knew. They all knew. They all knew. All of the mainstream media, all of the Democrats in the House and the Senate, they all knew how bad Biden was. Now, you'll see all kinds, and they've been very good. Most of the cable networks have been very good at saying it was manipulated, like the White House said, and these are fake videos and blah, 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 blah. But they went for 90 minutes in that so-called debate, and they saw how bad he really was with over a week's rest and tons of practice in the debate. Tons. All Trump had to do was show up. And just to show how bad Biden is. These SOBs, these sons of bitches, you know, you expect lies to a certain extent from politicians. You take that in consideration with a grain of salt. And the media has their bias as well. But they outright lied. They didn't twist the truth. They said he was in very good shape mentally and physically. They all knew he wasn't. And then I don't know how CNN even wanted to do the debate. They must have got a crap load of money. That's why I'm not going to show any video from the debate, because I'm afraid to get a copyright strike. They're so broke, they needed the revenue from the debate. But I go on and on. But let's watch some videos here, and I'll comment along the way. This, by the way, is Nancy Pelosi at 6:47 in the morning. That's a frightening thought.
This is an opportunity for Joe Biden to go out there and show he has the stamina and the rest. And by the way, while the press, and for some reason they don't, there are healthcare professionals who think that Trump has dementia, that his connection, his thoughts do not go together. And
they now say, healthcare professionals say Trump has dementia. So it's an even playing field. She just admitted, basically, indirectly, that Biden has dementia. I mean, you know, I'm sorry. Now I know why this is the only person in the history of the United States, as Speaker of the House, lost the majority twice.
You know, while he may be saying we're enablers, we see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. And I debate with him about legislation, and not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there. So in any case, it was a bad night. Let's not sugarcoat that. It was a bad night. It was a great president.
Look at Dana sitting there. Look at her face. She looks like somebody just ran over her puppy. I mean, they saw it in real time, and they all knew. I guess knowing in your mind and seeing it live just affects people more. People are very visual. They'll hear these bits and pieces and here and there on Fox and other channels, and these guys, hide it. But they actually saw how bad Biden was. Look at her face. It was like somebody ran over her puppy. Let's continue.
Performance against Donald Trump in the CNN debate. What's most striking are the liberal media supporters of the president who are joining the panic and saying Biden should step aside. The Atlantic, a disaster for Joe Biden.
Now, meanwhile, remember this. The Atlantic, the New York Times, the LA Times, on and on and on, all said he's fine. He's at top of his game. They're even saying he does cartwheels. And these bastards knew the whole time how bad he was. I knew he was bad. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm going to say it out right up front. I'm a Trump supporter, but even I was shocked at how bad Biden was. All these bastards knew. MSNBC, CNN, all the rest of the networks knew. All the major newspapers, the New York Times, the LA Times, all of them, Washington Post, they all knew. And they lied. It's dropping out as Biden's most patriotic option. This is from The Atlantic, one of the most far left periodicals there are. If he believes that Trump is a unique threat, the choice is clear. Biden needs to step aside for the sake of his own dignity, for the good of the party, and the future of the country, and on and on. Let's listen.
Time to go, Joe. Dropping out is Biden's most patriotic option. The editor of The New Yorker, the Chicago Tribune, New York Times columnist Nick Kristof. President Biden, it's time.
Look at this. The New York Times, they even had a full, huge opinion on their opinion page in the New York Times the day after the debate. Now, that has to be pre-written. They didn't sit up all night and write it. They wrote that before the debate because these bastards knew. They knew how bad he was. And they lied.
Time to drop out. Paul Krugman, the best president of my adult life, needs to withdraw. Tom Friedman saying he's Biden's longtime friend. Joe Biden is a good man and a good president. He must bow out of the race. And the Times editorial page striking the biggest blow, saying,
yeah, the Times editorial page. And for the Democrats, the leftists, and progressives, the New York Times is like God to them. Of course, they think their progressive agenda is their religion, so that's not a big surprise. It's too big a bet to simply hope Americans will overlook or discount Mr. Biden's age and infirmary that they see with their own eyes. And these bastards knew, they all knew how bad he was. All of them. They all have connections to Biden's staff and people that work in the White House. They all knew. And they probably heard 10 times worse than we saw.
the president should step aside because it's reckless to hope Americans will overlook or discount Mr. Biden's age and infirmity that they see with their own eyes. Trump, by contrast, looks strong and vigorous, even as critics said.
Now, I want to look at something Mark Levin said. The horrendous, dishonest, biased, pathetic American media, which did everything possible to cover up for Biden and the Democrat Party, now reversed course, knowing that the American people saw with their own eyes and heard with their own ears, once and for all, the appalling mental condition of Joe Biden. The media had a primary role in bringing our nation to this point and must suffer the consequences. Absolutely. What's the point of being a scumbag and a liar that's not just lying for politics' sake? This is the future of the country, maybe even the world. The media had a primary role in bringing about at this point and must suffer the consequences. That is, the media must be thoroughly denounced and condemned, and something must be done to revitalize a crucial institution to American republicanism. The infinite lies, deceit, and censorship by the media corporations and their employees must be universally condemned. Even the progressives should say, you know what? I'll bet you a good third of the progressives and the leftists saw that debate and went, holy crap. How can he be this bad? They had no clue. They were hoodwinked. They're the ones that should be outraged. They've been lied to for almost 4 years, longer. Even with all the Trump stuff, you know, the Russia, and all the rest of it. The Ukraine, you know, the so-called perfect phone call. We can go on and on and on. They won't do any of that, but they saw how Biden was. I would feel hoodwinked. I'd be pissed. We'll see if they are. Must be universally condemned. The management, board of directors, and investors must take steps to right this wrong, or the nation will not survive. If you own stock in any of these media companies, especially MSNBC and CNN, I can't say anything because I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get this video taken down. But you've been hoodwinked for all this time. Act accordingly. Do what you think is in your best interest. Now, we're going to get Joe Scarborough. Not too long ago, as you see on there, Vermont primary, and there's, what's her name, Marianne Williamson. This is, then they got the Trump Haley. That wasn't that long ago. And this is Joe Scarborough saying he knows for a fact that Biden is just as sharp and coherent as he ever has been. And then you're going to see the video immediately after with Morning Joe.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth.
No, Joe, F you. Because you're lying through your ass. And you know it. You're hoodwinking the American people. This isn't about Trump anymore. This is about the future of this country and the world. We're on the brink of a major war, if not World War III. And this is the crap you come up with? Are you serious? Don't bring it up at all. But to lie so blatantly. There's lies where you tell your kids that there's a Santa Claus. And then there's lies like this. They're not quite equal. You're putting hundreds of millions of people at risk. You ass.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say. And now,
if it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say. You got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. Now let's see what Joe says.
now is a good time. In June, thank God. In June, and not October, in June, this is the last chance for Democrats to decide whether this man we've known and loved for a very long time is up to the task of running for president of the United States.
If he's up to the task for running for president of the United States less than 90 days later, you lying piece of garbage. You expect media to twist things to lean the way they want to think and the way they want to win. You expect that. And you take that with a grain of salt when you listen to them. But look at that video. Go back a little bit and see what he said. And if you can't handle the truth, F you. No, F you, Joe. All of a sudden now, don't tell me you didn't know how bad he was until you saw the debate. That's a lie. So we'll look at a couple. Here's some headlines here. New York Post. We just witnessed the end of the Biden presidency. It wasn't even close. Biden made flat-out lies on prices. Jerry Nadler dodges on immigrant. Okay. It's incredible to me. Absolutely incredible. And here is the New York Post. We just witnessed the end of Joe Biden's presidency. Here's the Business Times, the business section of the New York Times, who the progressives think is God. Joe Biden is a good man and a good president. He must bow out of the race. They're panicking. This is before the Supreme Court case on immunity came up. It's been a very bad week for the Democrats, and they deserve every bit of it. Every bit of it. Here we have some polling. Biden have mental and cognitive health to serve as president. Registered voters. Now, it didn't say likely voters. That's more accurate. June, last month, 35% he said he does. Now it's only 27%. And I'm surprised it's that high. Apparently that 27% didn't watch the video. Does not. 65. Now it's 72. But these bastards would still vote for him because their hatred for Trump is so bad. It's incredible. Here we go with another articles. New York Times, opinion, is Biden too old? America got its answer. Opinion, the dramatic dangers of a second Biden administration. Incredible. Is this seriously the best we have? Readers discuss a debate. This is the New York Times. The ghastly versus the ghostly. Opinion, New York Times. Unbelievable. Now we're going to see Jill Biden, President Biden's wife, on The View. Of course, what she says is incredible. And anybody knows, especially his wife. She knows things intimately about him because they've been married a long time and they're married currently. They live together. She knows how bad he is more than anyone on earth. Maybe some family members of President Biden's supposedly said they didn't want him to run in 2020. Let's listen what she has to say.
American people deserve a debate because you need to see your choices. You need to see Trump and you need to see the president and you need to see the differences. And my husband's, and you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
How smart he is. Be honest with you, I was a Democrat most of my life. I was a local elected official as a Democrat. I left the party years ago. Party people thought Joe Biden was a doofus when he was a senator. Harmless, but a doofus. We just call him Uncle Joe. You know, Uncle Joe from Petticoat Junction sat around, didn't do much. That was Joe Biden. Let's listen.
And then you'll see somebody who, like you're saying, I'm going to use Joy's words, can't put a sentence together.
Can't put a sentence together. Can't put a sentence together. So what is he going to do? As a Trump supporter, and I think our enemies are going to come after us and do some crazy things in the world, whether Joe Biden withdraws or not. They have until now, until November 5th, even beyond that, actually, January 20th, because someone's going to be the president. He won't resign. He will not resign because that would make Kamala Harris the president. They can kill two birds with one stone. They can get rid of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the same swoop. This is incredible. This is like a bad movie. A very bad movie. Go back to Mark Levin. The infinite lies, deceit, and censorship by the media corporations and their employees must be universally condemned. The management, board of directors, and investors must take steps to right this wrong, or the nation will not survive. CNN's a hair's breadth from going under. My understanding is their financials are in really bad shape. Yeah, they probably made a bunch of money off the debate because they threatened everybody and his brother that if you show the portions of the debate here on this website and others, we will do a copyright strike and we'll sue you. That's why I didn't have any debate video. Something has to be done. They can't keep getting away with this. Every network lies. Everybody shades the truth. Everybody turns the truth to their side that they believe in. You know, like telling your kid there's a Santa Claus, that's a lie. They all knew how bad Biden was. These bastards all knew. He had the missile codes as commander-in-chief of the most powerful military on earth. Think about that when you saw Biden fumbling and mumbling. And then the video after the debate when Trump walked away off stage like a normal guy just strutting along, and Joe Biden had to come up and walk him down the stairs. My aunt, I have two aunts. One lived to be 102 and one lived to be 103. And in their 90s, they were in better shape than him, especially mentally. These people have to pay the price for all their lies. If I was a progressive right now, I would be absolutely outraged that I was lied to like this. So we'll see what they do. Will Biden withdraw? I really don't know. But I know the vultures are circling, like Gretchen Whitmer, Newsom, other Democrats. They're even putting Pete Buttigieg's name in there. Their bench really sucks. Gretchen Whitmer is putting money together and being very aggressive media-wise. My God. You have to be kidding me. I thought Kamala Harris was bad. Gretchen Whitmer, Newsom, Buttigieg. I wish I could come up with the words. Wish my vocabulary was big enough to say what I really think and feel. Anyway, folks, this video is going long, and I'm glad. I appreciate you went this far. My God, the debate and then the immunity case from the Supreme Court. Things are moving quickly, very quickly, and we can't let these things like this slip through the cracks. Vote accordingly. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.